everybody, it's Master Home Inspector Ian Lauzon here at Timber Point Home Inspection. Today we're at the Ecoline Windows and Doors warehouse. As you might recognize this area from a previous video where we did a window crash test. We have removed all the crashed windows and we've moved in some new technology, some new equipment here. I'm going to explain what this machine is a little bit later. It's like the size of a swimming pool. It looks very expensive, so we need to be careful with it, and probably not going to try it myself, but we'll explain what it does. What I'm here today is to go over some of the things that Ecoline is coming out with, some of the newer ideas, some newer products they're offering, and we're talking about blinds mostly today. And that's right, you heard it. Ecoline doesn't just do windows and doors, they're also doing blinds. When you think about other window companies, when you're shopping around and considering which one is going to work best for you, you're always having to consider where you're going to get your blinds from, whether it's Home Depot, whether it's some third-party companies, or Walmart. If you're that unfortunate to have Ecoline windows with some Walmart blinds, sorry about that, to hear that, but now we can do it all in one shop. You can call Ecoline, pick up the phone, you can order your blinds, all the different types of windows, everything like that can all be done on one order, and it's going to be really convenient for people out there. So we want to talk about what Ecoline is offering, all the different products, the different technology that they're using versus what the competitors are offering. With Ecoline, it's always better. Everything that we see is always better. I've never seen it the other way where I go, yeah, you know what, the competition's actually doing it in a better way. I'm always surprised when I come here. I start getting showed all this stuff, and then I start going, where do I order these blinds from? Because I want them today. I want them in my house. So we'll look at a few different things here. So blinds can come in different styles. There's obviously our just kind of standard slat blinds. You have roller blinds. There's different blinds on cordless, corded blinds. I could go on and on about what is out there, but we can just talk about some of the technology that's being used in the actual frame, in the actual structure of the blind, what makes it up. So what I'm holding here in my hand is it's called a cassette, and this is essentially the bracket that the blind would sit inside. And you can see there's a mount there you would mount that to the actual window jamb. So that's kind of what Ecoline's looks like, and I'll explain into it a little bit later. And here's what the competition has. So you can see when I'm holding one in one hand, the other, this one's a lot lighter. This is a lot heavier duty. You can see there's a reinforced bracket that's actually it's not gonna be as important for a smaller window, but for a larger window, which we've seen a lot of videos where we install some windows that are 10, 12 feet across. If you have some cheap bracket like this, and you got some heavy blinds out there, you're gonna be limited in your options, because what's gonna happen is that bracket is gonna kind of sag over time, and then that's not gonna make your blinds function properly. It's gonna make them wear out faster. And obviously aesthetically, you're gonna have people come over and look at your nice new window, and they're gonna say, what the hell's wrong with your blinds? They look ridiculous. So when we have something like this, where we can reinforce it, and a nice heavy duty bracket, it's actually gonna hold that blind up forever, and you're not gonna have to worry about it. So it's little stuff like this that counts. You can see there's a kind of a plastic cover on here that peels off. So when the installer is, they're working and they're moving around, they got their drill going, and they're not gonna scratch anything. So you can just take this off afterwards. You can have a nice fresh surface. With the competition, there's no coating on it. So it can get scratched, it can get damaged when it's getting installed. If you're taking the blinds on and off, it can wreck it that way. So it's just another thing to consider when you're shopping around for this type of stuff and what Ecoline's offering. When you have one of our bottom, I think this would be from like a corded or cordless blind, you can see the colors. This is usually what the competition offers, and you can't really see it on camera sometimes, but you can see the whites are a little bit different. There's a different shade of white there. It doesn't match. You take the Ecoline, it matches. And as I've been doing these videos for well over a year now, and I find that the males aren't always worried about matching colors, especially with baseboards and trims and casings and all that. But the females are very concerned about how things match. And whites, I don't have the greatest eye, so I don't see it like that. But I know a lot of women, my wife especially, they can see the difference. So everything's got to match, and that's how we keep people happy. That's how we keep our relationships lasting long term. You can't just have nice windows. Everything's got to be perfect, okay? So that's important for certain people out there. When we have our motorized blinds, or some of the blinds on rollers, I guess we'll call them roller blinds, there's different hardware that goes in there, that inner tubing that's going to support it and allow that mechanism to work. With the competition, you can see it's plastic. There's no bearings in there. When you turn it, it's going to be loud. You're going to hear the cracking, and that will wear out over, maybe 6 months to a year. These aren't going to last forever, because this kind of hardware, and you can't really replace it. Most people aren't going to be aware of how to do this kind of stuff. You're going to try to order parts online or something with some random blind that was assembled in God knows where. Forget it. It's not going to work out. You have to order new blinds. With Ecoline, first off, they're making things here. They're making things in their shop, in their warehouse. So if there ever was a part issue, here they are. They can send you one right away. No big deal. And this here, you can see there's a bearing in there. There's a metal bearings, and that's just going to spin effortlessly. It feels quite heavy. There's a lot of actual metal in there that's going to make that really supported. It's going to make it last forever. So that's good. Ecoline can make windows that last 50, 60 years, what we talk about, how they're built and how they're meant to outlive us. But if you install the blinds, they might only last a couple of years. So you're wasting a lot of money, and blinds are very expensive. So you have to be conscious of what you're putting on your walls, on your windows. All right, as we're getting more into this, the most cool thing about someone's house is if they have motorized blinds. I always find that really pretty cool. Never grew up with something like that. For someone to just wake up in the morning, push a button on their phone or on a remote control, and let the sun come in. You can just lay in bed. You don't have to get up. It's nice. You can enjoy life a little bit nicer that way. So we're going to get into some of the motorized technology that Ecoline has. Here's what the competitor is offering right now. So hard to tell the difference when we're looking at it, but we can see here, this one has like some sort of DC charging. So a specific type of power charging cable you have to plug in there. So if you lose that charger, your kids take it and throw it in a drawer somewhere, you're screwed. Your blinds aren't going to work anymore. So you're going to have to go try to find another charging cable, or it's annoying. So you can see that with our Ecoline motor. First off, it feels a lot heavier. It feels like there's actually some weight in there, which would probably mean there's more premium batteries in there. There's more metal in it, so that's going to last longer. As you can see here, it's a lithium battery. We all know lithium is good. It's meant to last a lot longer. You don't have to charge as often. But the more important part here is this. Everyone knows that charger, USB-C. So you can run your smartphone, all those toys, everything runs off of these types of chargers. So really more of a universal charger. You can find all those cords. I have 10 of those cords in my house, in my drawers. I have them everywhere. You can get them from the dollar store. So if you do lose your cord, you can go find another one, charge it really fast, and then you don't have to worry about it. So they'll last hours and hours and hours of use. So that means, days, weeks. You don't even have to worry about charging. And if you do need to charge it, it's easy to do. So that's really good. And you can feel when I'm picking these both up, this one's a lot heavier. It tells me that there's a bigger battery in there, so it's going to last a lot longer. Getting into our spring, so this would be more of our cordless system. So this is what the competition is offering here, and just a big long slinky. And if this was to get uncoiled or damaged, let's say you got a kid who's a little bit more excited to open up the blinds, he's going to rip them, and that could loosen up that spring, and then next thing you know, your blinds are screwed. Our Ecoline system here, it's an internal spring system, and looks really cool. It looks like almost like a car differential or something. There's a lot of technology in there, so I can't explain to you how all those gears and everything works in there, but this is going to last a lot longer. And if it was to get damaged, you can repair that part a lot easier than, pardon my English, but fucking around with this spring, because that's not going to be a lot of fun to deal with. So that's what Ecoline's offering with these cordless systems. Our motorized systems, it's really neat. And here's what the competition has for our corded systems. You got this big bulky encasement channel thing in there. You can see how it's quite a big eyesore. You can have your nice sexy blinds, and then you got this kind of thing hanging on the wall. Not the prettiest. Ecoline, of course, they got the sleek, sexy, corded, I don't know what to call it, but again, this is important, especially for the ladies. They need everything to look nice and neat. So that's going to be important going forward. And next, we will get into how we manufacture the blinds. We're over here on our CNC machine. This is our cutting table. So what this is a very large computerized cutting device, and it can cut blinds, massive blinds. You know, you can't just have a garage machine. It's not going to work. This was a lot of money. There's a lot of investment that Ecoline's put into this machine, and it's going to make their life a lot easier, but it's also going to make things a lot nicer. When we come over to our fabric here, this is for our roller type of a blind. The competitor, what they're offering, you can see that it's, when we get into a close-up version of it, when it's cut, you can see all the little frayed ends because it's cut with basically a mechanical blade, not with a machine. So what happens when you cut the fabric, little bits of frays of that fabric come up. So over time, it will start to come apart, especially when it's being, you know, up and down over the years. It's going to start to fray away. And I've seen a lot of these blinds, they don't last that long, maybe a couple years. And then the fabric has to be replaced. And then that usually in turn means the whole blind system has to be replaced. With the Ecoline fabric, you can see it's really sharp. There's no frays or anything like that. So that's meant to last a lot longer. It's also a really high quality fabric. You can feel the weight in it. And it's going to also last a lot longer. It's going to sit nicer. When it's hanging down, it's not going to be crinkled and creased and all that kind of stuff. So it looks really good. When we come down to our actual tubing system and how this fabric is fastened to our upper kind of bracket, and then our bottom tubing this would be the top, would be our inner tube. That's how it's fastened, and then our bottom kind of channel here. So this is what the Ecoline looks like. On our competitor, you can see our fabric is just glued or almost taped onto this roll. So over time, obviously getting more and more abuse of the blinds going up and down, that can just peel right off. And then now you got useless blinds. Same thing on the bottom side here, on our other part of the blind that hangs down, it's also glued on. With the Ecoline, it's actually a kind of a channel system where that will slide right into that bracket. So it's not going anywhere. You can pull that right through, but I mean, I just pulled that right off. We're gonna work on that part of it. Yeah, it's a small section, you know. We're obviously not pulling on our blinds like this. If I did that with the competitor, it's just gonna pull right off. So obviously I'm gonna be in trouble for that, but that's okay because, you know, everyone makes mistakes, right? We'll edit that out or edit it in, whatever. Looking at our remotes, I bet we know which one's the Ecoline remote. It's obviously the bigger one. Ecolines always go bigger and better. This feels like an iPhone in your hand or an iPod. Really nice system, nice buttons, nice clicking. You see this one, it's just cheap. Feels like you bought it off Amazon or something like that. Who knows how long that's gonna work out for you. You could drop it and the thing will stop working. This one feels nice and heavy duty. It's meant to take a little bit more abuse and it just looks a little bit nicer. So that's what we're dealing with over on this side of the showroom here on our manufacturing. So I think what we'll get to next is actually show you how these blinds get manufactured, how the machine works. And I'm excited to see that part for sure.